Good evening. I call to order the Monday, September 12, 2016 legislative meeting at Swarthmore Borough Council. I notice that all members are present, as is the mayor. At this point, we welcome public comment. If anybody wishes to talk to us about any matter of borough business, please come forward. State your name and your street address, and we'd be happy to hear you.
Good evening, Council. Rick Lee, President of Swarthmore Borough. Just wanted to bring you up to date. It's been a busy summer for us, and a couple things that we accomplished this summer so far was we had a fire prevention program at the farmers market one of the Saturdays in August. 30, 40 kids participated. We gave them a fire engine ride at the end. It was well received, so something that we're going to definitely continue to do. Also, we were able to work with the police and take all the abandoned bicycles and auction them off as well at the farmers market, and we made just over $400. So we appreciate the working in conjunction with the police department to clear out the hallway of the vacant bikes, and it was, good money that will be used very well with the fire company. So, two things, and just to remind everybody, we do have fire prevention coming up in October. We'll be mentioning it at our next council meeting, the first Monday of October, but that will be Fire Prevention Weekend, so we'll have a lot of things going on at that time. We've also been up to Swarthmore College for the student orientation, and we've had quite a few members of the college community, new students as well as some existing students that have expressed an interest to join. And we also have public safety is putting on another type of orientation thing that we're going to be participating in next week, I believe it is. So we're working pretty hard to recruit some new volunteers from the college campus, and that's going well. And
the college has, their Office of Pre-Med Studies has been very interested in linking up with them, so it seems like we're
working on a lot of different avenues, so thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Any other public comment tonight? Sir?
Good evening, Council. My name is Sam Hall. As I'm 30 into the town, I purchased the property, the 1 South Chester Road, the Michaels building.
Yes.
And I've been running that building for about 2 years, and I've been getting some concerns. I'm not sure if the council has been addressing the issue of parking in this town.
Yes.
And I don't know if you're aware, my property doesn't have any parking space. It's a corner lot.
Yes.
So I was wondering if from the information I gathered from the borough's office, I got that also through the internet. I've been seeing all this permanent parking. And the issues as a landlord is I'm having some trouble getting tenants because of the parking issue. That's my personal problem. At the same time, some of the tenants are addressing the issues of not having enough space. I believe the long-term parking for residents is the Myers Road, the 12-hour area. So one of the reasons actually when I purchased the property, they had parking space where the across the street of Chester Road, where
Continue, please.
Yeah. Where the new bookstore's at, Swarthmore Bookstore. So now that spot has been removed. I'm not sure if that is owned by the city or borough, but that's owned by the Swarthmore College. But once that was taken away, it became very inconvenient for my tenants. So I was addressing the council, do you have any plans in the future to maybe provide more space for the residents at least? Or would there be some kind of future plan for maybe a permanent parking for them? And get the equivalent benefits like the merchants have for the employees, for the residents. And the final question is the overnight parking. That don't know why that they can't park from 2 to 6 in the morning. I'm sure there was a reason for it, what the council had made that decision. So I was going to explain that, why people can't park overnight near their residence and then move it once like 8 o'clock when the business opens. So would that be a possibility? Maybe I could implore the council maybe to do something about that for property owners don't have any parking in this area. And a lot of tenants, they are the patrons. They use the facility, the restaurants, the laundromat. They use all those facilities, and I think they're being penalized for just being a resident without a parking space. So that's a concern I'd have as a landlord, and if you could address that issue, I would appreciate that.
How about Mr. Cregan is chair of the Public Safety Committee and who has been involved with the parking issue which we had before us for some years,
Yes, yes.
to get us to the point where we have the plan which now exists. But it seems to me, David, that there was some thought about people living where the speaker lives, being able to park on Myers at night. Is that not true?
On Myers Avenue? Sure. they
Yeah.
can.
They can, they
Right.
can.
They 12 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the, summertime is not as bad, especially when it's compared to the winter. Distance is kind of, it's not as close as I thought it would have been. Because sometimes, I guess a lot of the riders use that parking as well. Sometimes they said they can't find space. And also it's winter, it's very cold. And sometimes, sometimes the snows are not removed, they can't, I'm just going by what the tenants told me.
You understand?
So those are the issue and the lighting issues and stuff like that. So would it be possible in the future, maybe you could address it? Just for the tenants at least, the residents, I have 4 tenants besides the Dunkin' Donuts, that they'll be able to park in at least a designated area, maybe 2 or 3 spots. They could just park there overnight and move it to the long term during the day where they go to work. So that would help out the community a lot. I think that's one of the things, I mean, this town is great. That's one of the reasons I purchased the property. It's a very quaint town, and I thought it might help to get better tenants into. And the reason I came today was a lot of the tenants that do apply, they do qualify, they're good potential tenants, but parking became an issue for me. So I just wanted to address the council, and that would be great for somebody like me to go ahead and parking space for the tenants.
David?
Well, I mean, I guess all I'd be prepared to say this evening is that we talked about the parking situation in the Ville for a long time. And we considered a lot of different possibilities and a lot of different solutions. And the situation that we have in place now, while it's not necessarily engraved in stone forever and ever, it took a lot of thought to get there. And, without addressing your particular situation, because we were trying to think not only about, this property and that property, but about the Ville as a whole, we came up with a solution that we thought was very workable. But just to get some clarity as we go forward and continue to think about these things, it seems like you identified, I think, 3 issues. I just want to be sure I understand them. The first one is it the actual cost of the monthly parking permits, or is that not an issue itself?
Cost is not
That's not an issue.
That's not an issue.
Okay, so
The only thing is what I found out, I wasn't aware of this, but I heard that merchants have a thing called White Pass,
right,
that they can park during the day
right,
for $25 a month,
right.
as long as they're employed by a merchant.
4-hour meter.
And also at a 4-hour meter,
Right,
it's a little bit
right.
closer.
Right.
So my goal today is hopefully if I could even get that for my tenants at least, be able to get that same privilege as the employees of the merchants.
But are you talking about overnight or during the day?
Doing both actually, both. So as a resident, I want them to have the same benefit that the employees get as to the merchants, if that's possible. It's not that all my tenants need it. There's some tenants that's required by it. So that's something that I'm sure you guys talked about this for a long time. But it's just as a newcomer, that's what I realized. And I contribute to the parking ticket myself. I wasn't used to it, so I've been working on my property, fixing it up, and I'll forget. And so it's okay, that's fine. But I don't live here, so I just go home end of the day. But for my tenants, I'll walk into the long term. I'll walk the stretch. I wanted to see how far it was. And like, it's nice walking into summer, but in the wintertime, I could see how that'd be a problem. So at least they could just park overnight, just maybe with a resident, some type of identify they got a lease, show to the borough, and they can at least park close by overnight and then move it to the long term during the day if they don't go to work or they work from home or something like that. So they have some longevity, they stay in this borough, and I lost one tenant because of that. Potential tenants are simply having an issue with that parking issue. least for one property, so.
Okay, again, just to be clear, and I'll shut up, but it sounds like, so it seems like the main issue you're addressing is where they're going to park overnight, actually.
Yes, sir.
And the idea would be that they would be given certain spaces in the Ville itself, not down Myers Avenue, but closer.
If that's possible, that'd be wonderful.
Would be made available to them, they'd be able to park there overnight with some kind of monthly permitting
Yes,
type
sir.
of process.
Only for the residents.
Only for the residents, and then they would move when 8 o'clock or before 8 o'clock came around, they would have to move.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for the input. This is, it's always a bit of a work in progress, and we welcome
Yes.
suggestions
Right
such as yours.
now,
and
I do see
something-
the limits of space, I do notice that, I know it's an issue. If you could address that, that would really.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
A follow-up? There's new parking spaces across the street.
Yes.
By the inn.
Yes.
What's the name of that street? That's the one that.
Fieldhouse.
Fieldhouse.
They used to have that space to park. For the
Is that
tenants.
also close enough?
That's fine.
He's talking, you're talking about two different spots. You're talking about right in front of the inn.
Yes.
There used to be some 12-hour spots there. Those are now 2-hour and 4-hour
No, I'm
spots.
not talking about
Right,
that. I'm
he's
just
talking
asking
about
you.
there's 10, 12-hour spaces
Yeah.
on Fieldhouse Lane
Oh,
between,
I was not aware of that.
right, and I don't
Okay.
know if you're aware if those are, I'm not sure, if you would think those are any closer or not.
That was my
Right,
question.
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's usually winter time, that's the issue. And just now, I get nice, good clients coming in. good
I just think
people.
because they're like 1 block away. from-
One block I think is doable. Myers is kind of far, actually, it's like a little further than I thought. I thought it was pretty close, right behind Co-op. Then one day I went there was literally not many spaces. I think it's because the set-up parking space is kind of small.
What you really want is 4 spaces right in front of your building.
That would be,
I know what you want.
that would be excellent, but I don't spend that much. If you could get 2.
No, I understand, just so.
Or to eliminate anywhere the parking, so that a red parking sticker, which are overnight, would be good anywhere, not just a 12-hour meeting.
Yes, sir.
Remove
Yes,
the
sir.
restriction for them to be used only at 12-hour meetings.
Right.
The reason from 2 to 6, why was that, like,
Oh, there's a,
Yeah.
there's a long history behind that, but there's a good reason for it.
I'm sure there was.
It's worldwide, yes.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody? Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, council members, for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Herb Mondros, and I'm a resident. I've been a resident of the borough since 2001.
And on what street do you live, sir?
Presently, I live, I'm a tenant of Mr. Hans.
Okay.
And actually, I had no intentions of coming to this meeting this morning, but he texted me, said he was going to be here. So
Okay.
I thought if my landlord can stand up for our parking rights, I can certainly show up as well. For 15 years before, I've been in that property. I was in the suburbs at the corner of Vassar and Yale. So it's been really interesting.
In the greater Swarthmore
In the
Borough.
greater metropolitan area. So it's been interesting experiencing Swarthmore as a city dweller now as well. And there are a couple of issues. First, in the entire time I've lived here at Swarthmore, what's going on here right now is amazing with the farmer's market, the inn, the warehouse, the Hobbs. I mean, it's really vibrant. It's not your parents' Swarthmore, I guess. It's just a tremendously vibrant place to be. My hats off to the mayor and to you all for bringing it to this place, and to the people who do the farmers market as well. A couple issues that have come to my attention living here in the center of the ville are, one, the parking issue, which I move my car every evening, most evenings, chief. I try to.
But if not,
But sometimes I'm reminded that I forgot. To Myers, and it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but it always strikes me, well, why can't I just park on Chester in front of where I live, like all the other residents do? And so if I come in late, I see that entire stretch from PNC Bank around the corner to the corner cleaner. There's probably 60 spots that are empty every night. And, maybe there was a good reason at some point, and maybe it's lost on me why folks can't park there. But it seems like it at least reasonably could be open to debate that residents could park in those spots. So I would reinforce what Mr. Hong said to you all earlier. The other issue, and I'm not sure, I touched on it with you, Tim, the other night, is noise. It's really noisy at times downtown. In the middle of the night, there are deliveries that go on 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And some people are inconsiderate, and now we have the intrusion of the SEPTA buses that's added both noise pollution and air pollution to the mix, and we're hoping that that's temporary, but I'm a little worried that SEPTA's got their foot in the door, and they might like their local express service into town. So those are just some issues, and really I just, I want to make sure that y'all are aware of it and offer my services as a resident to assist the council in any way that I possibly can.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
I'm sorry, sure, please.
The 3 a.m. deliveries, do you happen to know who's doing it? Or?
I do. I've talked to some of the merchants in town.
I don't.
I've talked to some of the merchants in town. It's open to debate. I suspect it's Dunkin' Donuts that gets their donuts early in the morning. Bakeries are traditionally early morning businesses, and I'm sympathetic to that, but I'm more sympathetic to getting woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And maybe it's the hardware store, maybe it's Renato's, I don't know. But even just a little, just so everybody's aware of it, and then we can have some respect, and people can try and get a little bit more quiet. And that might be a solution to the problem rather than more regulation, something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would recall, please have a seat. I would recall at the time of the extended negotiations or discussions that went on between the college and the borough with respect to how much parking would be required on site for the inn. And to some extent, some measurable extent, the college was relieved of the necessity of providing some parking spaces because of the assumption, based upon history, that the parking spaces in front of that you're talking about are empty. And to the extent that those spaces would be filled up at night after 6 o'clock overnight, over time, as the inn becomes more as successful as we hope it would, the spaces which the borough assumed when it approved the college's parking plan for the inn, those spaces will no longer be available if they're occupied by residents at night. It's just a fact that has to be taken into account with the rest of whatever further deliberation is given on this issue. If I'm wrong about what I've just said, somebody please correct me. Nobody's correcting me. So, but thank you for further consideration will be given to that. But that's part of the history of why parking is permitted where it is, when it is in the borough today. Okay, thank you all. Any other public comment tonight? Hearing none, I will move to consideration of council meeting minutes of the 1st of August, the 8th of August, and September the 6th of this year. I would entertain a motion for the approval of those minutes as circulated.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion with respect to any of them? All those in favor of adoption of those minutes and approval of them as circulated, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved as distributed. Environment, Laura?
Okay, just 3 small things, really 2 things. One is that the EAC and some people at the college and Leanne Kruger-Brady, these people are trying to come up with a place to hold a forum about the Mariner East 2 pipeline. There's a protest up against that that's pretty well organized by some people in Middletown, and so just stay tuned for that. That's just a heads up. And we're waiting for the Natural Lands Trust to finish their draft for the comprehensive plan for the 4 boroughs, and so we're looking forward to that. And then there are a couple of fairly small budget items that budget requests that they're working on. So that'll go through Public Works and Parks.
Okay.
That's an open space plan, not the comprehensive.
Yeah.
Same
Open
for you.
space.
Yep.
Yeah, thank
Right.
you.
No problem.
Anything else?
That's it?
Will your committee be meeting this month?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Finance, Nicole?
Yes, I guess we'll go in order of the agenda here. Start with the financial report for the month of August. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to take a look at it. And for starters, I would mention that revenues are trending a bit better than expected, especially as it relates to last year. But essentially, they're really driven by four things, and all 4 of them are likely to be temporary in nature. One is real estate transfer taxes, so they happen to be high this year. They could be low next year. The other one is building permits, which you're probably all aware, significantly more this year, but again, that's likely to be one time in nature. And then the other 2 are tree removals, which is, subject to trees, which you never know year to year. And then finally, meter fees, which are stronger this year, and I would probably attribute, and maybe Jane could second that, would be what's happened with SEPTA over the last 3 months has been a big factor in that, and that's obviously temporary. I think the spaces have really dried up now. I mean, not being used as much. The utilization is now, it's probably closer to 50% versus 100. So I think those are the main drivers of why that's a bit better than expected. Expenditures are running as expected, and then finally, the cash balance at the end of the month was $2,063,190. Happy to take any questions on the financial report for the month.
Any questions? Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to bills to pay, and start with wire transfers and transactions to ratify. Should I read off all of these transactions? Is that?
I think you can just do the as shown, and is there, did you give your total?
No, just leave me total. Probably, I just thought I should probably calculate it, but then I thought maybe I had to read them out anyway. I don't know typically what we do. We haven't generally had that.
I'll add them up. Keep talking.
Okay. I'll talk really slow.
As you are.
The wire transfer total, including
Yeah, you hear it?
2527.
No, the transactions.
Transactions.
So how about I make a motion for wire transfers for the month of August totaling $2,520.70.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any question about any item? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of those payments, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They're approved.
Okay. I didn't talk slowly enough.
Sorry.
Apparently. So Mike, how was your summer?
The total is $6,573.87.
Okay.
And again, that's unusual because remember we had a very early council meeting, so some bills that came in were
Right.
more comfortable delaying and did pay them.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve transactions to ratify for the month of August 2016, totaling $6,573.87.
A second, is there?
Second.
Any discussion, question about any item? I had a question about the Sunoco Universal because I was signing checks today. And since there's no Sunoco station nearby, I was wondering why it appeared that we were driving to
And
fill
it's
out
an
the Sunoco
inexpensive
station.
amount, too. so.
Well, but it turns out that there is, I happened to be in the office when the treasurer called the chief and found out that they have a credit card that can be used at any gas station, and the advantage of it is it takes off all the tax that would otherwise be payable because of the municipal service. Do I have it right, chief?
Yes, sir. We also get a once-a-year discount based on the volume purchase. It's a CoStar's Pennsylvania contract.
Okay, okay, so that's, nobody else probably was questioned why it was Sunoco, but I did. And so, did we actually vote on that yet? In the middle of my meander there.
Second.
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved
Okay.
and ratified.
And then finally, within this section, I'd like to make a motion to approve open invoices for the month of August totaling $113,060.89.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Mary seconds. Any question about any item on the list? Now that I've put the rest on the issue about Sunoco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I vote aye. Their payment's approved. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Okay?
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, a couple more items. We had, last meeting, we took time to briefly discuss the MMO for 2017 for both of our pension plans, for the police pension plan as well as the employees pension plan. I'm going to make a motion tonight to approve those minimum municipal obligations for 2017. First, I'm going to start with making a motion to approve the minimum municipal obligation for the police pension plan totaling $234,995.
Is there a second? Second.
Hold on, that's not the MMO is actually line 10.
Oh, sorry.
And then because the other is an estimated.
I see. Okay, so
yeah.
technically I have to go by the.
Correct,
Okay,
right.
Sorry. I
It's
apologize.
okay.
So the motion is for $304,995.
Right.
Yes, just.
And it's that motion, which is seconded? Mary? Yes.
Second.
Okay, any question about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
Okay, and then my last item, I'd like to again make a motion to approve the minimum municipal obligation for the employees pension plan for 2017, totaling $89,498.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ross. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. I vote aye.
And we will have our regular scheduled finance committee meeting this month, which is, I believe it's the 25th at 7:30 a.m.
26?
The 26th, I'm sorry.
And, okay, general government.
Nothing to report. We will have our meeting on the 22nd, which is not our usual time, but we communicated with the various groups that are going to be presenting their budgets, and they all are okay with moving it to the 22nd at 10 in the morning here.
Okay.
That's it.
And your committee has a challenging role this year in connection with these various requests because there's, as we are in budget time, there's some requests for additional funding from various of the groups that you have responsibility for, and at least one new. And so I'm sure we'll all wait with bated breath for the recommendations of your committee with respect to these.
Yes, and the recommendation from the Aging in Place group, which I had not seen before it came through, is different and creative.
Mm-hmm. It is, but that's one of those to which I alluded. Okay, good, thank you. Public safety,
Right, how about planning and zoning?
or even planning and zoning.
Well, no new report since last week, but just to remind everyone again that our committee meeting is going to be on Thursday, the 29th at 7:30 p.m. So we've changed both the date and the time for that one.
Okay. And here,
Yes,
it's always here.
Yes.
Thank you. Public safety.
Right, so last week, we took a look at proposed resolution 2016-11, a resolution adopting guidelines for Swarthmore police officers when making authorized warrantless summary arrests. I move this evening that council adopt resolution 2016-11.
As described.
As described, as we have it in our package. There were a few typos, just typos to what we saw last week, and those have been cleaned up.
Okay, thank you. Second?
Second.
Second, Ross, seconds. Any further discussion about that tonight?
I did have a question. Was this not part of our laws as it was? I missed the.
Yeah, what's the
special-
context for it?
How does it
Well, I think the chief in doing a policy review discovered a statute that I was not aware of either, which requires that the governing body of the municipality adopt one of these resolutions if you want to have the ability to arrest somebody for a summary offense.
Because it made sense to me, it just, I guess it surprised me that it wasn't already codified within our.
Yeah, and you may not have been here when we discussed.
I wasn't, but I guess it's fine.
So,
It came in
yeah.
moments after.
Right. What normally
Sorry.
happens with a summary offense is we do not get cuffed and processed, we get handed a citation. But this is where if somebody's not cooperating or if they're a potential danger to themselves or someone else, it gives the police the ability to arrest if they really need to. And in order for them to have that ability, the council needs to approve it
Understood,
by
thank you.
the state statute that was used to make.
Okay.
I have a question, which is, since this is a change in our process in the town, I'm assuming if this passes, there'll be a notice in the paper or something that says that we've passed this, or not, or will there be any process for letting ordinary citizens know, or, I'm not suggesting it needs to be done, but I'm questioning, just thinking out loud, should we advise people if there's a change or not?
Well, there's no requirement to comply with the statute. And it's
There's no requirement.
Correct. And I don't think that the intent is for the police to now start arresting everybody who gets an underage drinking citation. It's just in those instances where somebody's a potential danger. So I defer to the chief, but I don't think it's going to result in a broad cloth change to current practices. So.
That's exactly right. It doesn't change what we already do.
Okay.
Russ, I will say though, it does bring up something that has come up frequently on Borough Council, which is we kind of operate, as you can tell by the single-digit audience we have this evening, very much in our own sphere, and we deliberate and we spend a lot of time, I think, doing what we think is right by the borough, but it doesn't impact a citizen until it hits their circle. Oh, no one told me that parking changed because you get a ticket. So it is something that that discussion is not new to Borough Council.
Well, it's my understanding, and I hope this doesn't, there's nobody sitting out there in this situation, it's my understanding that in this situation, notwithstanding the absence of a resolution, that you would have made an arrest.
If we made an arrest under those circumstances and it was challenged in court, we would have lost the.
I know, I mean, so it's not, this simply provides the legal basis for the police going forward to do something they have been doing.
As an example, somebody's intoxicated to the point where we feel it's unsafe to leave them alone. We house them in media until they reach the point where they're safe to release. Essentially, we do not have the authorization to do that. We will now.
Okay, exactly, so.
So the way it is now is you'd have to get a warrant from a judge to do that first. Is that the idea?
By the time we did that, it would be all over.
He'd be all sober.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I don't think it's necessary further to publicize this myself.
Okay.
That's my personal view. Again, fine. Public Works, Parks and Recreation.
I don't think
No,
we have to-
I'm sorry, we got.
I got you, the arrest.
No, you didn't get me. Whatever.
We have a
All those in
second on
favor
that?
of adoption
Is there a
of the
second?
resolution? Do we have a
We
motion?
did have a second.
Yep.
Who was
Thank
the
you.
second?
Ross.
I'm sorry, I've lost the track.
That's okay.
You were the second.
I see it.
All those in favor of adoption of the resolution 2016-11 as described and circulated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's adopted. Public Works, Parks and Recreation.
I do have a motion this evening, it was discussed in our work session. It's a motion to authorize advertisement to sell our used tractors.
It's not really an ad. If we were going to do an ad, then we would get authorization to do that. This is an authorization to put it on
To
the
put it on
website
Municipal.
called Municipal.
I will restate that.
And then once it's sold, we'll come back with a resolution of whoever was lucky enough to get the used loan.
I move that we advertise our lovely lawn tractor on this.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. It's Authorization is given.
I have no new business, David. We will meet this month, Thursday, the 22nd at 8:30 a.m. I have not circulated an agenda yet, but we're going to talk about SRA's budget request rolls up under Parks and Rec, that's me. We're going to talk about possible further discussion of snow removal equipment to combat the tunnel and all the new, fresh, clean word sidewalk we have in town, and the electric car charging station potential right outside Borough Hall, right over the corner there. That's it.
Thank you very much. Mayor?
Gosh, thank you, David. It's been a fairly exciting last couple of weeks in town-gown relations with the borough and the college. The college has adopted a Swarthmore One card, which is a card which enables students to use those cards as part of their financial package at the college to go to places like Hobbs and the Dunkin' Donuts and the Co-op. And Scott Richardson and occasionally yours reports a 4 to 5 times more students in his shop than he's had before. And lines were seen outside the Bamboo Bistro on Saturday. So all those good news, I think, in terms of it was a long time coming. There were an awful lot of people working on both sides, including, of course, Jane, to make this happen. And so I think it's a great thing because we'll be seeing even more kids, students, young men and women in town taking advantage of the stores and the shops.
Do you have an understanding how it works from the college's point of view? Does this get charged back to the student? Is that?
Yes.
It's
So
like a credit card, but the bank is the college.
Bank is a college, so it goes all through their financial package that they receive. So the way it was explained to me is that up on the hill there, they work very hard to make scholarship students and full ride students have the same experience, so that the money doesn't become an issue as to why someone participates in something or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the same sort of thing happens with the one card. So whereas we might have seen certain students down here previously because they had the pocket change or they had the cash to actually do it, now it's pretty much opened up to the whole kind of student area. They have increased the student body a little bit. They're kind of incrementally making the student body larger, but they really can't make the dining hall any bigger. Kind of what they have. So they are running up. There are practical things on their side as well. Plus, they have an awful lot of students who have special diets, dietary considerations, which they try very hard to take care of, but some they can't and they actually can't because of the systems. And
right.
So, for example, the new dormitory which is being built will have suite style living with kitchens in them, so that people will be able to prepare their own meals. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Just like when you went to college, right?
It's exactly the same.
Kitchen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And you know.
Mystery meat.
Mystery.
And that's it.
I had occasion to visit my granddaughter to watch her play a little soccer yesterday at Millersville, and was her roommate, who a sweet maid, a modest, I would tell you by comparison to Swarthmore's, but was saying, and we went out to lunch, is that she is unable to get in the university dining hall any food which meets her dietary desires, such as, for example, gluten-free. They're just sorry. And so there's a whole gradations of situations in which students may find themselves. Thanks, Tim. Jane?
I just wanted to point out on the manager's report a little bit more information on the 2 pending land developments that Mary mentioned last time. One is for the new BEP building and the other is for the bleachers and press box. Both of those will at least be started at the Planning Commission meeting on the 21st. And eventually it will end up here. Under the Public Works report, I want to point out something. The second notices under 3B, those are, if you remember last year, you passed an ordinance that allowed us to fine people who did not comply comply with our notices.
Are these our
So-
first 3 fines?
So this is our, no, it's our first 3 second fines. So 3 of them got the $50 fine, 1 of them paid. But didn't fix the sidewalk, neither did the other 2. Now these other 3 have received a second notice. One of them owes only the $150, the others owe $200 because they haven't paid. And the notice said that this is it. After September 30th, it will go to the district justice, and the district justice will request a hearing. We'll tell them what their next step is. The good news is we've had people who've had really large sidewalks to replace who have done exactly what we have asked them to do. And some of them are in pretty noticeable locations and are pretty big jobs. I'm happy to share that with the district justice if we get any complaints that it's too expensive or too cumbersome, because in fact, we've had a lot of people comply. So unfortunately, these have gone for the most part unnoticed, and I don't know exactly what these people expect will happen at the next level, but we will see once we have our hearing before the district justice.
The new house at Yale and Rutgers just.
I know, he did it,
Looks
I
good.
know, he sent me pictures because our inspector, Fuzzy, does sidewalks, and he was away, and he said, we want the inspector to come out, and I said, he's away, and so he sent me all these pictures. I'm like, wow, that looks
He
great.
even matched his existing with a rock to it. He did a really good job.
Yeah, so he really did, and that's actually a good example of one where we have gotten some complaints, and sometimes people will say, I've got a contract, but the contractor can't get there. In his case, obviously, we didn't want him to ruin his new sidewalk with construction equipment when he was so close to being done, so.
Right, okay, thank you.
That's it for me, thank you.
Well,
Thanks, I don't have anything tonight.
a reminder for us all and for the public that the dates of October meetings change because of observance of Jewish holidays, so that in October, our work session will be on Thursday, October 6th, and Thursday, October 13th. And I hope all of us can remember that those are going to be the dates of our meetings in October.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.